如果时光可以倒流的话，我想回到没有买房、没有贷款之前。现在的房价打死我都不相信，居然已经拦腰斩半了。当时我这套房子买的时候是1.4万一平，总价是130多万，而现在我半价都卖不掉。现在这套房子对于我来说简直就是一场噩梦。
The young man says that a few years ago, he had to exert all his efforts to secure this condo suite, with a down payment of 400,000 yuan and a loan of 900,000 yuan. In August of last year, he became unemployed and couldn't afford to repay the mortgage, so he decided to sell the suite. However, after the unit was listed for sale, the price dropped from the initial 1.3 million yuan to the current 700,000 yuan, but still no one would buy it. A few days ago, someone came to view the unit and offered 500,000 yuan, which made him very angry. Now he is in a dilemma. If he doesn't sell the unit, he cannot afford to repay the mortgage, but selling it at the current price wouldn't even cover the remaining loan balance, let alone the down payment and the tens of thousands of yuan already repaid. We do not know which city the netizen lives in, but based on the housing prices mentioned, it seems to be in a second or third tier city. The decline in housing prices in first-tier cities like Shanghai is an undeniable fact. Particularly, luxury home prices have experienced significant drops, some even plummeted up to 50%.
我们今天看的这一套房子，现在我们在它的3楼，它居然仅只报价1900万。按照市价来说的话，这套房子，和之前业主的一个购买价格来说的，目前已经暴亏2000万了，相当于他是打了一个5折在出售这个房子。
The surrounding areas of Beijing have also seen a severe decline in housing prices, with some places experiencing a decline of up to 65%. This is Shanghai County, which experienced a booming real estate market in the past few years. Due to its proximity to Beijing, it attracted many young people to purchase homes here. During the peak in 2017, condo units were sold for up to 23,000 yuan per square meter, even as off-plan properties. However, the market has shifted to completed properties with improved supporting facilities, yet the housing prices have dropped to 8,000 yuan per square meter. Over the span of 6 years, property prices have declined by 2/3. The videographer mentioned that one of his friends bought a condo unit here for 2.1 million yuan back then, with a down payment of 600,000 and a bank loan of 1.5 million. Now, due to an urgent need for money, he needs to sell the property. However, he can only sell it for 800,000 yuan, while still having a remaining bank loan of 1.3 million yuan. In other words, if he sells the unit, he not only wouldn't receive any money back, but will also have to pay an additional 500,000 yuan to the bank. When he purchased the condo unit, he never imagined that he would fall victim to the hype at the peak of the real estate market. The young man in the video also bought a property in the outskirts of Beijing in 2018. At that time, the price was 14,000 yuan per square meter. He mentioned that he recently checked the homeowner group's information and found that the price had dropped to 4,000 yuan per square meter. This means that his 100 square meter property has suffered a direct loss of 1 million yuan. He feels extremely upset about this because earning back 1 million yuan is not an easy task. According to this video blogger, the number of pre-owned properties listed for sale in Beijing has reached 190,000 units, indicating that the real estate market is entering a downward trend. Real estate agents in Beijing are now requiring homeowners to proactively lower their prices, with multi-million properties needing to be discounted by at least 2 million yuan, or else they won't arrange property viewings. If cities like Shanghai and Beijing, which are considered first-tier cities, have experienced such significant price declines, it suggests that the real estate market in other second and third-tier cities is even more unsustainable.
太离谱了，我都无语了。我在汉阳滨江225万买了房子，现在挂牌的价160万还没人要。当初是贷款了147万，分20年等个本金还款。从开始的月供1万2到现在的万把块钱， 5年的时间，光利息就还进去了40多万，再加上房子跌值的60多万，算上物业费，这套房子已经亏进去了100多万。
Despite numerous claims on the internet from the public stating that their property prices have dropped by 20, 30, or even more than 50%, the official released housing market data doesn't seem as dire. On July 15th, the National Bureau of Statistics of China announced the sales situation of the housing market in 70 major cities for the month of June. Among them, 38 cities saw a month-on-month decline in new housing prices, while 63 cities experienced a decline in resale housing prices. Looking at the resale housing market, the sales prices of pre-owned residential properties in first-tier cities decreased by 0.4% year-on-year. Second-tier and third-tier cities saw a year-on-year decrease of 2.4% and 3.4% respectively. The 4 major first-tier cities all experienced a month-on-month decline in resale housing prices. Among them, Shanghai had the highest month-on-month decline in pre-owned residential prices at 1.2%. Regarding the official data released, professionals in the economic circle generally express serious doubts. In the following video, during a conference, a host conducted a small survey among real estate agents from various regions in China. They can be considered a group of people who are most familiar with the local housing market. Let's see what the results reveal.
李总，你在哪个城市呢？
无锡，
无锡的房价怎么样？
无锡均价的话，
跌了没有？
20%起步。
跌了20%。
对。
王总，你在哪个城市呢？苏州。苏州的房价跌没有？20%。也跌了20%。张总，东莞怎么样？啊？东莞房价跌没有？
跌不该啊，4万跌到2万5啊。
啊。
对啊。
跌多少？
就我们的小区啊，2手的4万跌到2万5啊。
4万跌到2万5。
对啊。
徐总，你在哪个城市呢？啊？江西南昌，房价怎么样？也跌了20%。李总，重庆跌没有？你跌了多少？不止20%。嗯。杨总，你在哪个城市呢？
合肥
房价跌没有？
将近30%跌幅。
将近30%。
有点夸张了，是吧？
还有，
我们那边基本上15%左右吧。
跌了25%。
南京。
啊。苏姐呢？广州，你房价跌没有？10%左右。10%左右。听懂了？
我南通站差不多也跌了25%到38%。
全国都跌。
Regarding this survey data and the data officially released by the CCP, which one would you believe? The data provided by the CCP officials often appears relatively positive because it's often manipulated and beautified. For example, when people are experiencing the pain of unemployment and salary reductions, the CCP's National Bureau of Statistics claims that the per capita disposable income of residents increased by 5.8% year-on-year in the first half of the year, suggesting steady expansion of household income. Such data clearly contradicts what people witnessed firsthand and is difficult to believe. It seems that the CCP authorities anticipated that this series of data would be questioned by the outside world. Therefore, on the same day, the CCP's official media, Xinhua News Agency, released the data on July 15th. They also published a video featuring Fu Linghui, the director of the Comprehensive Statistics Department of the National Bureau of Statistics. In the interview, Fu Linghui stated that we need to correctly understand the temperature difference between macro data and micro perceptions. In other words, he implies that individual personal perceptions are inaccurate and that they should trust the data provided by the Statistics Bureau. Such rhetoric employed by the CCP's propaganda department is seen as playing word games to deceive the people, or as netizens would put it, replacing cold data with literary romanticism. In the face of such behavior by the Chinese authorities, some people say the new troika of the Chinese economy has officially emerged: the Statistics Bureau, the Propaganda Department, and the Cyberspace Administration. The Statistics Bureau is responsible for beautifying the data. The Propaganda Department cooperates in brainwashing propaganda to make people believe. And the Cyberspace Administration monitors the internet to suppress questioning voices. So, what is the real situation of the Chinese real estate market? Let's take a look at some other related information to get a sense of it. On July 12th, a data report disclosed by the Shenzhen Real Estate Intermediary Association revealed the current situation of intermediaries in Shenzhen. In the first half of this year, the 27,000 estate agents in Shenzhen sold a total of 20,000 resale homes. On average, each agent had a monthly transaction volume of 0.09 homes, which means that an agent could only sell around one home in 1 year. This information sheds light on the challenging survival situation faced by real estate agents in Shenzhen. The low transaction volume indicates the sluggishness of the market and the difficulty of agents to close deals. The primary source of income for real estate agents comes from the commissions earned through property transactions. With reduced income, fewer people are willing to enter this industry. In the first half of this year, the newcomer rate in the Shenzhen intermediary industry was approximately 21.6%. In the booming market of 2020, 49.3% of practitioners were newcomers. According to an industry insider from the Shenzhen Real Estate Intermediary Association, during the peak period there were over 60,000 registered agents in Shenzhen, but now there are only slightly over 20,000. The industry faces difficulties in survival, with low per capita income. You have to be prepared for no income for 3 years before you're bold enough to join the intermediary industry. As for the second half of the year, experts believe that the transaction volume of homes in Shenzhen has bottomed out, but there is still room for further price declines. In recent years, the scale of second-hand housing transactions in Shenzhen has shrunk, leading to a significant loss of industry practitioners. Data from the Shenzhen Real Estate Intermediary Association shows that the volume of second-hand housing transactions in Shenzhen has been declining since 2020. The recorded transaction volumes for resale housing were around 120,000 units in 2020, 44,000 units in 2021, 27,000 units in 2022, and only around 21,000 units in the first half of this year, which is just a fraction of the peak period in 2020. Recently, there has been news of homeowners giving away properties in Shenzhen. A screenshot of a chat log circulating on social media shows a Shenzhen homeowner claiming to want to give away their property, stating, "As long as you are willing to repay the mortgage, I will provide a written agreement for a transfer after 3 years." According to the description provided by the homeowner, the property was purchased for 3.65 million yuan. It also has a gifted area of approximately 28 square meters, with a unit price exceeding 130,000 yuan per square meter. However, a similar unit in the same complex was sold in February this year for 2.48 million yuan, representing a decline of over 30%. Media outlets have confirmed this homeowners giving away properties news from an informed source, indicating that the reason behind it could be a potential mortgage default by the homeowner. Zheng Shulun, the president of Huazhong region at China Real Estate Information Corporation, or CRIC, and general manager of Zhongyuan Real Estate Shenzhen, stated that the factors currently affecting home buyers' entry into the market mainly include a lack of confidence in the economic recovery, employment pressure, declining income expectations, and weak or even negative expectations of property price increases. Data from CRIC shows that in the first half of this year, the average selling price of the top 20 real estate developers in Shenzhen was around 63,100 yuan per square meter, a decrease of 14.73% compared to the same period last year, when it was 74,000 yuan per square meter. The prices of pre-owned properties have also experienced a certain degree of decline. According to data from Leju Research Center, in the first half of this year, the average transaction price of pre-owned properties in Shenzhen was around 65,000 yuan per square meter, a year-on-year decrease of 7%, and a decline of 16% compared to the first half of 2021. Due to the sluggish transaction volume in the real estate market, the overall stock of properties in China continues to rise. According to data from the National Bureau of Statistics, the area of unsold residential properties has exceeded 650 million square meters, providing enough space for over 16 million people to live. The inventory digestion period is also increasing. According to the latest residential inventory report released by eHouse China R&D Institute, 68 out of 100 cities in China have an inventory digestion period of more than 14 months. This means that sales conditions for housing are relatively challenging in nearly 70% of the cities. Significant changes have also occurred in the resale housing market. More and more homeowners are listing their properties for sale, leading to a surge in the number of newly listed pre-owned homes, reaching a multi-year high. According to a report in the Beijing Business Daily on July 10th, Based on data from the Beijing Municipal Commission of Housing and Urban Rural Development, the transaction volume in Beijing's resale housing market has been declining for 3 consecutive months since April this year. According to institutional data, as of the end of June, the number of pre-owned homes listed for sale in Beijing has reached nearly 190,000. The lack of market activity in the past 3 months has gradually led to a stagnation between buyers and sellers. Analysts warn that if too many homeowners try to sell their properties simultaneously, it could exacerbate concerns of oversupply and bring new downward pressure on housing prices in China, further damaging the already fragile economic confidence of the people. The Xizheng Real Estate Finance Research Association, a professional platform for real estate finance in China, recently released a report stating that based on the sales situation in the property market, the market is increasingly convinced that the second wave of defaults by Chinese real estate companies is imminent and will spread to state-owned and even central government-owned developers. The report highlights the worrisome state of the current Chinese real estate market, which was evident in the overall collapse of the property sales in June. What investors fear the most is that as the sales situation in the property market continues to decline, remaining private real estate enterprises, mixed ownership enterprises, and even state-owned and central government-owned developers may actively choose debt defaults or lie flat. The report cites statistics from multiple authoritative institutions, indicating that China's top 100 real estate companies achieve a contract sales volume of only 602 billion yuan in June, the lowest in 7 years. Sales figures for prominent companies such as Country Garden, Binjiang, New World Development, China Railway Construction, and Oceanwide Holdings have experienced a year-on-year halving situation. Similarly, renowned companies like China Merchants, China Resources, Jinmao, Longhu, Vanke, Poly, China Overseas, and Greentown have all seen a decline in sales ranging from 20 to 30% compared to previous years. These lists and data indicate that it's not only private developers experiencing a sales downturn, but even state-owned and central government-owned developers are also facing an overall collapse in sales. The report predicts that the current failed auction wave in the land market and the dumping wave in the property market will trigger a second wave of defaults and stagnation among real estate companies. This is a significant blow to the real estate industry. The report candidly acknowledges that it's difficult to see the real estate market stabilizing in the short term. This is primarily due to factors such as a sharp increase in domestic unemployment rates, declining income expectations, a lack of disposable income among residents, sluggish consumption, and a lack of confidence from various market participants. Additionally, global economic recession, Sino-US decoupling, and geopolitical conflicts further contribute to the challenging situation. In response to these circumstances, the People's Bank of China and the China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commission issued a statement on July 10th, extending the applicable deadline for financial institutions regarding policies supporting the real estate market until December 31st of 2024. The policy extension primarily involves 2 aspects. Firstly, real estate companies with debts maturing before 2024 can extend their repayment by 1 year, and financial institutions are not required to downgrade the risk ratings of troubled enterprises. Secondly, for newly issued accompanying financing that becomes non-performing loans, relevant institutions and personnel who have fulfilled their duties can be exempted from responsibility. From the policy announced by the central bank, it's evident that the financial industry is once again being called upon to intervene and support the real estate sector. Although this approach may significantly increase non-performing loans for banks, it also poses potential losses for them. The reason why the Chinese government is willing to sacrifice the interest of banks to save the real estate market is also to rescue financially distressed local governments. Over 70% of China's housing prices consist of land cost and various government fees and taxes. A significant portion of the funds from people's home purchases goes to the government, which constitutes a major source of local government revenue. Additionally, the real estate sector has a significant impact on more than 40 upstream and downstream industries. When the real estate market flourishes, it also stimulates other industries, which in turn improves government fiscal revenues. If the real estate industry is sluggish, the effect is reversed.